Buckle up your seats, folks, because Star Wars just revealed that Order 66 might not have been the first ever Jedi Purge in the modern canon timeline. What's up, guys? Bessie from Star Wars Comics here, and it's been exciting these past few years to see Disney push the boundaries further of what canon is actually capable of. There's a lot of information coming out of Star Wars' High Republic novel, Light of the Jedi, and in a conversation between prominent Jedi members, they revealed that Order 66 was not a singular event, and this immediately connects us to Knights of the Old Republic timeline. That's all legends now, but there are fractions of it that are slowly becoming canon throughout many materials, and I know that general viewers just assume that Star Wars is a trilogy and then another trilogy and then another trilogy. They only watch the movies. Now with The Mandalorian, things have kind of changed. People are watching a TV show as well about the Star Wars universe. The reality of it is that for decades, even from its foundation, Lucasfilm has been taking advantage of many other mediums rather than just movies. This material comes from video games and novels and comics, and the Star Wars universe from 1977 to 2012 was a vast array of a lot of things, going from thousands of years before the modern Jedi Order that we see in the prequels to hundreds of years after the Battle of Yavin. A combination of multiple sources was what Disney had a major issue with. Legends was practically all over the place, going from the Great Sith War to the Mandalorian Civil War to then a weird shift with the Yuuzhan Vong invasion. Well, Disney made way with that because it was just too complicated. They started fresh with canon. Ever since 2012, they've been slowly rolling out a lot of new material to connect the universe from the past to the modern and maybe the future. It seems that the High Republic era is a huge step in that direction, and in partnership with Lucasfilm, they have been carefully absorbing a lot of the best bits from the Legends continuity, ranging from characters like Grand Admiral Thrawn to a lot of elements throughout galactic history, like recently recanonizing the First Sith War from Knights of the Old Republic. The novel Light of the Jedi, though, is going a bit further with canon material, kind of confirming that the Sith committed several Jedi purges in the past, and Order 66 was not the only one. This is presumably including one purge specifically from the First Sith War. The book features a discussion between several members of the Jedi Council during the High Republic era, and during a discussion on military action, they get distracted by arguing about ancient history, and this is opening a window into the past by as I said, very prominent Jedi Masters. This conversation features the Jedi Master Oppo Rancisis, who is very well known in Star Wars circles, Jedi Master Rana Kant, and of course the infamous Yarael Poof. Now listen carefully. This is what they say in their conversation. I quote an excerpt from Light of the Jedi. Oppo Rancisis goes on to say, "But we have been a military force in the past. In fact, our predecessors waged and won the Great Sith Wars. There is endless precedent in the chronicles for this sort of thing." Rana Kant goes on to say, "True, but we are not at war now. We are the farthest thing from it," meaning that the High Republic era is a time of prosperity and of the full might and power of the Jedi. By the time we leave the High Republic era and enter into the prequels era, this is what George Lucas basically had in mind. By the prequels, we see the pompous and arrogant Jedi Order that had become its own worst enemy. I'm going to end this conversation, though, with what Yarael Poof says to both Oppo Rancisis and Rana Kant. Yarael goes on to say, "Not the farthest," meaning they are farthest from the war. He goes on to say, "There have been times in our history when the Order was reduced to but a handful of members." With this, Yarael Poof just basically confirmed that there has been Jedi purges in the past. If you are a new member or if you are a new avid reader of Star Wars, then the High Republic is set 200 years before prequels. So Yarael Poof is saying this 200 years before Order 66, and he is probably talking thousands of years ago if the Great Sith Wars are to be mentioned. Yarael Poof not only confirms that there has been a Jedi purge before, but he goes on to say that there have been times in plural, meaning that the Jedi Purge has happened multiple times throughout their history. Interestingly though, he does not say in which specific era were the Jedi reduced to just a handful of members. I guess this is the crumbs that we have to follow to the next venture of Lucasfilm, hopefully set thousands of years before the High Republic and the prequels, which of course leads us to believe that they will officially canonize bits and pieces of the Knights of the Old Republic era, the video game that we know and love. And of course with that, you can imagine that Revan will be the centerpiece of all of it. What this excerpt from The Light of the Jedi kind of suggests, however, is that even though the Jedi fell prey to their own ego in the prequel era, the Council has had the same tendency to become preoccupied with their own politics, forgetting what was important in the first place, being in tune with the Force, letting the Force guide you, and not succumbing to fear. It probably doesn't help that Operensis and Yarl Poof were presumably already centuries old and thus may have well struggled to focus on the present moment during that awful time in Order 66. Now, I suggest you go read that novel specifically because the glimpse inside the Jedi history is truly fascinating. Even though it focuses on present time, the tidbits that we get from that are amazing to say the least. While the Great Sith War has been restored to canon, as I said, the Jedi Purge reveals are one of the best things that book could tell us. Operensis refers to multiple such conflicts in their history. Yarl Poof claims that there has been multiple times when the Jedi have been decimated to shreds. So this suggests that, as in the old expanded universe, the history of the galaxy is one of uneasing conflict, never ending between the light and the dark, between the Jedi and the Sith. The only thing we can definitively say about Order 66 and Palpatine's Purge was that it was the most successful out of all of his predecessors. If the Jedi Order had existed for thousands and thousands of years, then as successful as those previous attempts were, none were as successful as destroying the Jedi Order completely, which Palpatine did with Order 66 and with his new revamped empire. Guys, what did you think about this amazing revelation? Talk to me down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you can have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.